It was late at night when his life ended. The city lights reflected off wet asphalt as he rode his bike home after another exhausting day. His mind was empty, his body tired, and his thoughts far from danger. The traffic light ahead glowed green. Then, a truck blasted through the intersection at full speed. He froze. There was no time to react, no time to scream. The impact sent his body flying, pain tearing through him as the world spun violently out of control. Voices shouted for an ambulance, but they sounded distant, fading. Lying broken on the road, his consciousness slipping away, only one regret echoed in his mind. I never finished building my models. Darkness claimed him. A bird circled high overhead as a caravan moved through the desert below. Armed men on horseback escorting several wooden carts. One rider raised his hand. An archer drew his bow. The arrow pierced the bird mid-flight, sending it crashing lifelessly onto one of the carts. That cart wasn't carrying goods. It was a cage. As the bird's blood dripped through the wooden slats, a single drop landed on a young man's forehead. His eyes snapped open. He jolted upright, smashing his head against the low ceiling as pain exploded through his skull. When his vision cleared, dread settled in his chest. He was trapped inside a cramped wooden cage. "You're awake!" A little girl beside him stared with wide, relieved eyes. Confused, he pressed a hand to his head, and memories flooded in. Not his. They belonged to the body's original owner, a noble youth who fled from an arranged marriage, only to be captured and sold. Reality hit him like a blade. He had been reincarnated. "I'm Kunli," he said quietly. The girl said her grandfather called her Little Grass. When Kunli asked where he was, her eyes lowered. "He gave his life so I could escape." Kunli looked around. Only women and children filled the cages. Outside, disciplined soldiers rode calmly alongside the caravan. These weren't bandits. They were professionals. Then a scream shattered the silence. A boy shook his sister's lifeless body, begging her to wake up. When she didn't, grief turned to rage. He cursed the guards, swearing revenge. A whip cracked. The boy collapsed, shaking but unbroken. Kunli watched in silence. This world was merciless. That was when he heard it. A strange sound echoed deep within his mind. Closing his eyes, Kunli focused, and his consciousness was pulled inward. Before him appeared a glowing interface. Gacha system activated 10 free spins. Per day luck-based. No guarantees. With no hesitation, Kunli used all 10 spins. Cards swirled in a storm of light, then settled. Burnt rice, water, low-grade food, junk. A beginner's bonus appeared. 20 more spins. Again, nothing but scraps. Then, 2 items stood out. A strengthening pill, a berserk potion, and finally, on his last set of spins, a card glowing gold. Trial, General Lu Bu. 3 minutes. Kunli's heartbeat thundered. 3 minutes is enough. The system warned him his time was up. When his eyes opened again, he was back in the cage. No time had passed. Using food and water to gain trust, everything led to one moment. As a guard barked orders and drew his bow, Kunli swallowed the strengthening pill. Golden light erupted around him. The arrow shattered midair. Kunli leapt from the cart. Panic spread through the soldiers. And when his power began to fade, Kunli raised the golden card. Trial, General Lu Bu. The desert shook. A colossal blue-lit mech rose from the ground, radiating overwhelming might. Soldiers fled in terror as Kunli struck them down with divine techniques. Buddha's palm, mountain-crushing blows, and a sky-shattering bow that carved a trench through the desert. In 3 minutes, it was over. The cages lay broken. The prisoners were free. As the mech faded, the survivors fell to their knees. An immortal. A god. Kunli said nothing. There was no time. That night, beneath unfamiliar stars, Kunli shared water and food with the survivors. Children stared in awe as he ate instant noodles made with cold water, a divine feast to them. He gazed into the darkness ahead. This wasn't his world anymore. But maybe it could become one worth protecting.